Hello everyone and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Last episode, we ended up going through the Ancient Cistern, or exploring it a little bit more, and we found out what it was truly an allegory for. This episode, we're going to end up going up and fighting the boss, because we have yet to have done that. So, let's go and see what this temple has in store for us. Okay, let's swim backwards. I know that it takes longer to swim backwards, honestly, because Link isn't the fastest swimmer backwards, but it's gonna be that way. And Link messed that up, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. Let's go and put the lotus piece into the lotus. Oh, come on. You said gyro. You can also reset the position of the key with ZR if you feel the need to. I might need to do that if I'm not careful. Nope. What a beautiful lotus. The white lotus is probably like my favorite water plant. I'm not gonna lie. Because it just has a lot of significance in general. Okay. We're up on the top of the statue's head with switches. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing now. Normally boss doors go to a boss, but I'll take this. It's a little less stressful, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now we're in the higher part of the area. It was just to go and extend the head a little bit more. Okay, let's head up. You certainly are persistent. I'm terribly busy trying to find the clues that will help me retreat or revive the Demon King. Your incessant buzzing around my head is like some irksome gadfly. When I'm this busy is, well, it's making me disagreeable. Ancient Automaton, Koloktos. So, yeah. Koloktos is a very strong boss fight in the Zelda franchise indeed as well. And there are some lore standpoints around him that aren't very apparent from the start, but playing the other Zelda games kind of put you in a clue of what Koloktos actually was supposed to be. Koloktos. He's very interesting in the way of what was he used for in this temple originally? Because Girahim revives something. We just don't know what it was exactly. We need to go and use the whip on his body parts, but anyway, Girahim definitely revives something. We don't know exactly what he was supposed to be, but through context clues, we can tell that actually Koloktos was most likely going to be a boss like the boss of the Ancient Cistern, the boss... no, not the boss of the Ancient Cistern, that's what we're in. But the boss of the Tower of the Gods from Wind Waker, and the boss from... I forget what other boss is considered a guardian, but a guardian of a sacred power. And that would make sense because there's also that flame. So, it's a very interesting way of, oh yeah, it was going to be a guardian of a sacred power, and honestly, it might have had a few choice words for us if, like, it wasn't controlled by Girahim's magic power. But who knows? Because we don't ever hear Koloktos talking either. But it is very easy to tell through context clues and playing other Zelda games what this boss fight was originally going to be. In a standpoint of, if Girahim wasn't here, it would have been more of like a guardian point of view where you would fight a guardian guarding something. that the goddess had chosen for the hero. And I honestly like whenever Zelda does that, because it makes everything larger than life than just, oh yeah, you're this, or you're this, or you're this. So we're taking down his arms. What's up, Koloktos? Now we can pick up his big-ass weapon. Ow. That was pretty dumb damage on my part, but guess what? I'm just gonna go and wail on you because I can. Deal with it. I also like the designs on his armor. It's very cool, and I also like how the armor is laid out. Koloktos is a cool boss by all standpoints. His design is pretty cool. His design is inspired. He has a cool, like, story behind him, because technically, like, he has lore standpoints behind him. He's a good boss off of just, like, what you need to do and everything. And you can also summon cursed bokoblins to deal with you. And, that's not the greatest thing ever. You can normally ignore the cursed bokoblins. I was just dealing with them so they wouldn't get in the way. But you really don't need to deal with them because most likely he will deal with them himself. I'm just going to go and grab the sword. And then he's going to go and do that. Just let him do that. Go ahead. Keep doing it. I'll be ready. Okay. Now that he's slowed down, take his legs out. I like how you also need to take out his full arms. Like, if you know what you're doing, you don't need to take out his full arms. Like, you might want to take out all of his arms. That way he can't do anything to you. But you don't have to. What's up, Koloktos? Oh, no. And every Zelda game that has had a boss like this, where you pick up a weapon, like, Wind Waker did this quite a bit. It wasn't really boss fights. It was enemies. But, like, any part in a Zelda game where you pick up a new weapon type to, like, use against a boss or an enemy in particular makes it easier. And I don't know what the camera's doing. It was trying to go up Link's, trying to look up somewhere that it probably shouldn't have. This is a 14-year-old boy game. Okay. Let's go. I'll just wait for your arms to go and do their thing. Pretty cool motions. Yeah, I can go into one other thing that this sword can do whenever he's doing that. It can bring down the pillars in the room. It's a cool thing. Okay, let's get into a place where I can hit it. That is the creepiest thing ever. The fact that that laugh happens right at the end of it. Why? Why would you do this? Okay. So we got a heart piece for our troubles. That seems about accurate. That's standard Zelda fare. We can pick up the sword still. I don't think we need to. Let's just pick up the heart piece and go. Or heart container. Heart piece and heart containers are two different things. And we see the doors have a different design on them. It's actually pretty light, so you can't even tell. I think that's just a lighting bug. Because I think in the Wii version you could actually tell the design. You can tell the design if you look at it at a certain angle. Yeah, like that. Nah, I think it just gets brighter. And whenever it gets brighter, you can't even see the design at all. But it has a Farore symbol on it. If you know Zelda lore. So, there's something important through here. Yeah, there we go. Better representation of the design. So, let's go and head forward. Skyward strike time. Raise your sword, master. The flames of Farore have improved your sword, making it longer and sharp enough to do twice as much damage. The sacred flame has purified your blade, enhancing it and evolving it. With your sword now enhanced, you are truly now ready to learn a new melody. Be sure to return to the Isle of Songs. Okay, thank you, Fee. Ah, the sword you carry is different since I last saw you. Yes, I see it is much improved. To think the goddess's chosen hero is but a mere boy. Quite a twist. Chosen hero or not, you do not yet possess the strength required to wield the full power of that blade. You must train yourself further. Devote yourself wholly to this task. Farewell, boy. Jesus. Well, it was nice seeing the water dragon again. Before she said that I was weak. Wow. You have very much confidence in the hero who's supposed to do things for the goddess. So we are back in the underside of the temple. For a reason, actually. There's quite a few things that I missed or I want to personally show. One of the things that I personally want to show is actually getting an evil crystal, if one of these guys would be nice enough to drop an evil crystal for us, because I mentioned that they can drop an evil crystal and never got one. Yeah, there we go. See, they drop an evil crystal. So there's your proof right there if you ever needed it. I was pretty sure. I just wanted to go and make sure. Because I said it in the video, but like I widely remembered it. Okay, with that done, let's get on to the next thing that I need to show. Take care of you guys. Whoa, they dropped another evil crystal. I've done this part like 5 times, and I did not get that lucky before. I was dealing with... Oh, he grabbed me out of the air! That was new. I've never seen that before. Mr. Bokoblin dude. Okay, so next thing I want to show is the goddess wall. Because I was doing something stupid, okay? And I was kind of cringing in editing during this whole temple. What you want to do to get a fairy... And I'm going to go and recenter my thing so I have a better drawing motion. But you want to draw... Oh, yeah. I've screwed this up. The Triforce. So if I can actually get it right. But if the game can recognize it as the Triforce, which this is horrible, so I don't think the game is going to be able to. Ah, yeah. Makes sense. I wanted to get that done down here, but I'll do it on another goddess wall later. Just know that if you draw a Triforce, that's how you get fairies. I'm just horrible at drawing. Next thing I wanted to show is what actually happens if you fall into this blood lake, poison, water, whatever you want to call it. And this actually gives you an effect. I cannot use my sword right now. I cannot use my items. I cannot mess with my pouch. This is an effect called Jinx, and if I remember correctly, or if I, am remembering correctly about this game in particularly, this is the only place where you can actually get Jinx. That and one other place that we'll get into later, but honestly, I feel like that's the case. let's try this again, shall we? This time I'm using button controls because what if it's me going and messing up with the one thing? I don't think I'm going to do better with the button controls, but honestly, it can't hurt to help. So, okay, that was horrible. Yeah, the button controls aren't helping currently. There are much smoother lines, though. Okay. There we go. There we go. I couldn't get it with the motion for some reason. I don't know what it was. I couldn't get it with the motion, but this is how you get fairies. You can just put a Triforce in, and it's good. I don't know why the motion wasn't working. I'm actually a little bit annoyed, but that's fine. We got full fairies. So, that's the way to get your fairies. That concludes everything that we've gone over in this temple. So, I'm gonna go and meet you to go and go over something else. I saw the goddess cube in the cutscene. You can't get that. Oh my god, I forgot about that goddess cube. Well, nice to go and keep that in mind. But yeah. I don't really have much else for this episode aside from a few things that I missed. One thing in particular, because I was doing my notes and everything, and that requires me watching some YouTube videos and doing some note things. I don't want it to be so close to Chugga Conroy's video, but I kind of realized something around this point in the game that I didn't really realize because he brought it to my attention. You remember whenever I went over the poison, or the mushroom spores, not poison spores. They aren't poison, necessarily. I guess I'll go over them anyway. But here's my point here. I look at mini Let's Plays. I'm even looking at a blind Let's Play right now to maybe learn some things about this game that I didn't know before. And that's an interesting thing. I look at many Let's Plays. I look at the Wikipedias. I look at the book. I have the original Wii official guide even for this. I don't want it to come so close to Chugga Conroy's version of Skyward Sword Let's Play because we all know that he did it the best. But like I cannot just not go over this with a little bit of time because we're at 13 minutes. So we might as well go over this part at least in this episode. I was going to save it for a bonus video, but I'm not really the greatest at taking notes, and I don't want to just forget about it in bonus videos. So we're going to do bonus videos at some point, but I think this is a perfect time to do it. I'm just explaining my thought process because I know that it's getting a little bit closer to its thing than I should have intended. But yeah, if you use the mushroom spores, which are this button, on an enemy, it knocks them out, and they actually take more damage from your sword. Or, no, that's just us doing more damage because the sword is upgraded. But if you take out enemies that way, or you can take out enemies this way. So let's stun them. And then also, another thing you can do with the mushroom spores is you can use it on rupees. But don't get too overzealous because right there shows you the exact problem. Rupees can lose their value if you do it too many times. It can go up, but it can also go down. And that also goes and says that what it can actually become. Because that is one of the only ways to get rupees outside of the rupee minigame that Tubert is doing. Forget the name right now. Thrill Digger. Thrill Digger. How could I ever forget about Thrill Digger? Okay, that was just my mind blinking on me for a second. My mind loves to do that. As you guys have probably realized by now, if you've watched every episode of this, which I really appreciate it, by the way. But yeah, with that, there's not really much else to go over. That was pretty much all I had for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. That bottle part was added at the end, or no. The mushroom spore part was added at the end because I really didn't have that planned at all. But then I saw him go over it in his video, like, saw Emil go over it in his video, and I was like, yo, that's cool. That's cool indeed. And honestly, it just adds a lot to the combat. You can use that anytime you need to. So I felt like it would be a nice thing to go over. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Ordonherder here, signing out.